in a super mystical frequency right now. Today is the second born day for Kim Porter. This is the day that she passed. And I'm just like in my backyard and I'm giving thanks for the time that I had with her, you know what I'm saying? And today I'm gonna share with y'all a little bit of the story because it's a true black love story and it's real, you know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people you are going through grief right now. And man, I didn't think I was gonna ever get up, ever be at this point today. But through the glory of God, I'm here. And I'm a better man for it. And you know something? We ain't on our time, we on God's time. Yeah. More to come.
As the mother of a now 16-year-old.
Who I met backstage,
He did?
He's a great young man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You represent a lot.
Wendy Williams just took her beef with Beyonce to a whole other level after torching her for allegedly knowing the truth about the mysterious death of her rumored surrogate Cathy White and the connection with death of Diddy's dead baby mama, Kim Porter, both who passed away suddenly and mysteriously. If anyone knows the truth apart from Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Diddy, it is Wendy Williams. But baby, she might want to chill out a little bit. We don't want her to wind up dead before she has the chance to finally leave that guardianship. And speaking of her guardianship, Wendy claims that Beyonce and Diddy supposedly set the whole thing up to silence her. Yes, you heard that right. Now, even though this might sound a little crazy to some of y'all, it actually makes sense, considering just how long she's been on their necks. It was really just a matter of time before they did something to silence. In fact, even before Cassie blew the whistle about Diddy's FOs and secret DL relationships, Wendy had already done it all the way back in the 90s, and he didn't take it well. Not only did he get her fired from Hot 97 and blackballed her from getting hired on the radio, he ran her out of New York by threatening her life. Mind you, he did all this because Wendy said she had received exclusive photos from an anonymous source of another man going down on Diddy while he was vacationing in Cancun.
A very homosexual era of hip-hop as well. There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle. There were many situations, none of which to talk about, but there were many situations back in the day in my career, and it's all coming full circle now.
But this didn't stop Wendy from still talking about him. Even after she later moved from radio to daytime, she still had Diddy's name on her lips. She was one of the first people to question that entire club incident involving him, J-Lo, and then 19-year-old Shine, as well as the very strange dynamic of his and Cassie's relationship. But here's where things get crazy. Once Diddy clocked that he couldn't control Wendy, guess what he did? He appeared on her show and threatened her then teenage son's life right on national television.
Cassie back. Oh, it's been all over social media. Puffy posted a picture of Michael Jackson's song, Lady in My Life, and wrote, if anyone sees Cassie this weekend, please tell her to listen to this song 100 times. I suggest don't use social media though to reach out. I think this is a grand overture from Puffy. I don't believe he really wants her back. I believe he probably treated her at some particular point like a possession, like a possession. And if you really care, then you'd reach out privately, not publicly.
Real bad blood. The worst blood.
The worst blood. You almost wanted to run you out of New York at one point, right? Well, not run, like push you out of New York at one point. He had you ran out. You give him full credit for that? Okay, cool. He had you ran out of New York.
As the mother of a now 16-year-old.
Who I met backstage,
He did?
He's a great young man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You represent a lot.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, this threat actually succeeded in making Wendy keep quiet about Diddy for years. It wasn't until Cassie exposed him that she finally spoke to him again. And from the looks of it, she still had a lot to say, because now she's accusing him of also having some kind of hand in the death of Kim Porter. Wendy was actually one of the first people to post about Kim on social media because she knew the truth behind her death. She made this tweet at the time saying, "I just heard the sad news about Kim Porter. My condolences to Diddy and Kim's families. Rest in peace. peace. She never believed that whole stuff about her dying from pneumonia. But who was she going to tell? No one would believe her. And you have to keep in mind that Diddy was still very powerful at the time, so he could easily silence her again as he did back in the 90s when she spoke about his gay relationships. Anyway, contrary to Kim's autopsy, new evidence has since been put out about the state in which she was found, and it just proved that Wendy was right after all. Apparently, she was found on her bed with red fluid on her pillowcases and a slight trail of red fluid on the bedroom floor that led to the bathroom. And on top of all that, she was also strategically placed on the bed to throw off the police investigation. Right on the heels of that, Ed Winter, the coroner handling the investigation, came forward with his own findings, and they were about as far from that pneumonia diagnosis as you could get. According to Ed, he found toxins in Kim's body that pointed to poisoning. But get this, almost immediately after he went public with those findings, Diddy allegedly pulled some strings to have him removed from the case entirely and replaced with a coroner of his own choosing. Kim's baby daddy, Al B. Sure, also didn't hold back and came out directly accusing Diddy of being responsible for her death. Al even put together a whole book called Do You Believe Me Now?, where he laid out his accusations against Diddy and also claimed that speaking up about Kim put a target on his own back.
In 2022, you had the liver transplant, you had the tracheotomy, I mean, all that stuff that went on.
Multi-system organ failure.
Yeah,
60.
Right. Have they figured out what happened yet?
We will.
No, I mean, have the doctors medically, like, what happened to you?
Yeah, what happened? So,
because you just collapsed, right?
Yeah, so, just mysteriously out of the blue, which we do talk about in the book.
Yes,
what that,
I want to get into that.
What that process is. But, so it's been quite a journey. And as I said, even as it relates to writing the book, I went through almost more than a decade of being scrutinized and clowned by law enforcement, them telling me, you need some help. Sex trafficking, really? What's wrong with you? No way, but not realizing that they were also working for the situation.
That Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure.
I believe this to be the case, yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
My first time saying it.
Now you're probably wondering why Diddy would take Kim out, especially considering that she's the mother of his kids. Well, folks are saying it might have had something to do with that book she was rumored to be writing before she died. The book was reportedly going to expose details about his alleged secret parties and the mistreatment she went through during her time with him. He may have managed to kill the book before it ever hit shelves, but that didn't stop information from getting out. Text messages between someone at the publishing company Kim had been working with and members of her family ended up leaking, and those messages contained details about what the book was actually going to reveal. The email read, "I was devastated to read the things that Kim put up with and witnessed during her relationship with Diddy. Also, some of the things in the book covered Diddy's gay relationships, footage of those encounters, the men he slept with, STDs, Diddy giving Usher an STD, and the explosive encounter between Diddy and Usher's mom, Mary J. Blige being pregnant by Diddy, and of course she had an abortion. The roughing up she took, pushing him down the steps in 2007 and him breaking his foot. Also how she used a strap-on to please Diddy, and how she would hysterically cry alone after doing so. How she protected Al B. Sure from running into Diddy, and would call him to warn him not to show up to certain places to avoid trouble. But baby, that's not all. She was also about to expose all of Diddy's friends and the mess they were up to, especially how Jay and Beyonce are not that innocent at all, and have stepped on several people to get ahead and keep their image clean. And get this. Right around the time the Cathy White Jay-Z affair was at an all-time high, Kim Porter knew all about it because she saw everything herself. Cathy, Jay, and Diddy were literally hanging out together. So as Diddy's baby mama, she had details on what was really going on, including her alleged mysterious passing. And similarly, Beyonce also knew how Diddy was mistreating Kim Porter, but refused to speak up. No wonder people think she knows what really happened the day Kim passed away. Now, it has long been speculated that Cathy White was not only Jay's lover, but also Beyonce's alleged surrogate. However, Beyonce had no idea that Jay and Cathy were sneaking around. The crazy thing is that when Diddy got exposed, Beyonce and Jay-Z also got slammed for their involvement right along with him. So the fact that Wendy was already dragging Beyonce way before anyone knew of their dirty laundry is crazy. Wendy knew exactly what she was saying back in the day when she was going on about Beyonce, but everyone called her a hater. Fast forward to today, and the same people who were dragging her are singing a whole different tune.
Beyonce, I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was this was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people he had put him out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Me and, you know, maybe about 15 others, you know.
Right.
Jay-Z and Beyonce being, you know, 2 of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in at the moment, you know. And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to. Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? Whoop de whoop, and that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man. That was.
Now, upon all the things Wendy had to say about Beyonce, what really took the cake was when she accused Beyonce of secretly using a surrogate. Now, mind you, at the time, Beyonce had already shared that she had fertility issues, so people were side-eyeing the whole situation, with some people even saying Bey got rid of Cathy after Cathy had Blue. These rumors only got started when that video of Bey's supposed bump folding up during an appearance for an interview in Australia.
Wait to talk to you about this Beyonce baby bump conspiracy rumor, fake pregnancy thing that's being alleged. I just don't even know where to start, so I'm going to take you through it step by step. Here's how the rumor got started. Beyonce recently, like last Sunday, appeared on an Australian show. And when she sat down, the baby bump squashed, bent, and crumpled. Hold on. As ridiculous as it sounds, you know I did my research and we've got the video to prove. Hold on. So people started questioning, was this baby bump real or fake? Now, being a woman who, you know, I had my baby bump, many of you have had baby bumps, I never remember my baby bump squat. Just take a look at the video. Okay, so here's Beyonce and she's walking out and everything is fine. She's 5 months pregnant. Then she sits down and, okay, no, we're gonna rerun it until you see it. Let's do it in slow motion. You'll notice she's either giving birth to a Frisbee or Stewie from Family Guy. Look at the shape. Look, do you see? There it is, there it is. What that is, B? Okay, now let's bring it back and freeze it. Yeah, oh yeah, we're analyzing. There it is. What is that? Is that a baby bump? I don't know. I was on bed rest the whole time. I'm not exactly sure. But I can tell you, when I would get out of the bed and sit up at a kitchen table, I wouldn't be able to sit like that. Like I was so concerned about my back and the baby. Even at 5 months, you know, I sat like this, right? Well, look, Beyonce has denied these rumors, saying that they're stupid and they're ridiculous. Beyonce's pregnancy is a way of keeping Jay-Z's alleged mistress away. Beyonce is going to use a surrogate so she can maintain her body, but they're going to play it off like it's allegedly, you know, like they gave birth. Now, you remember I was the first one to say this, and you remember, because wait, I haven't said it yet. Watch. It's going to be an at-home water birth in the master bathroom. There are going to be 3 people there. Beyonce, Jay-Z, and her mother, Miss Tina. Watch.
And keep in mind, Cathy was actually a well-established name in the PR world in her own right. She had worked alongside some seriously high-profile people, which means she wasn't just on the outside looking in. She had direct access to these circles and knew firsthand what was really going on inside them. And guess who else was also in these circles and dropped dead right when she was about to expose it all? Kim Porter. In a recent interview, Wendy claims that, according to people in the know, Wendy believes Cathy and Kim were taken out because they knew too much and weren't down to play along. Kim was married to Diddy for decades, so she knew the ins and outs of everything he did, including his dealings with Beyonce and Jay-Z. And as for Cathy, I don't think I need to say much. In fact, most people don't know this, but when Cathy died, the journalist Liz Crocken came out to reveal that she and Cathy were scheduled to have a sit-down interview about Beyonce. I don't know about y'all, but this seems very similar to Kim working on a tell-all book before she died.
Would consider telling her story to me on the record, which implied to me, obviously, that if she was willing to tell her story about Jay-Z, that it was indeed true that she was having an affair with him. So that was pretty much it. That was the last time that I talked to her, and I was, you know, under the impression that she was very strongly considering talking to me and telling me her story about her affair with Jay-Z. So a few days go by and I'm following up with her, I'm calling her, and I can't get a hold of her. And I believe that this went on for a few days. And it was just really weird because she always answered her work phone. I thought it was really strange that she wasn't answering her phone. She was MIA. I didn't know what the deal was. So I ended up reaching out to one of her colleagues. And when I finally got hold of one of her colleagues, they told me that she's dead. And I said, what?
As usual, people had their thoughts. Like this person who said, so where is Cathy White's family at? Why aren't they saying anything about these allegations? It's been going on for years, and no one in her family has spoken out about this situation. Another person said, Blue is Cathy and Jay-Z's daughter. Beyonce admits it in one of her songs. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Wendy putting her life on the line to expose all this? And do you really think Kim and Cathy were taken out to hide the truth? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.